How's that for how's that for a thumbnail? So, you know, like let's go back to the trip to the 80s, man. Let's go back to the trip to the 80s. Get out of here, you bag of bones. So yeah, let's talk about the 80s with the Satanic Panic of the 1980s. I mean, I was gonna make these thumbnail even goofier, but well, but here's a question for you. And if you're wondering, what was the Satanic Panic? And gosh, the Satanic Panic of the 1980s and 90s was a widespread moral panic in North America, but was largely fueled by substantiated claims of organized satanic cults sexually abusing and sacrificing children. But here's a question for you. When did it start? Well, it was originally sparked by the 1980 book Michelle Remembers.
Joining me now from Victoria is Michelle Smith, a one-time victim of abuse by a satanic cult, and Dr. Lawrence Pasder, the psychiatrist who helped her come to terms with that nightmare.
The book is called Michelle Remembers.
They would put me in cages, sacrifice animals.
These were things that you experienced.
That's right.
It's known as the Satanic Panic from the 1980s and 90s all over the Western world.
There are thousands of men and women who are secretly worshiping the devil.
Are you accusing me of being a Satanist?
It was like a snowball.
It was written by Canadian psychiatrist Lawrence Pasder and his psychiatric patient Michelle Smith. But part of the thing, it relied on this great practice of recovered memory therapy to make sweeping claims about the satanic ritual abuse involving Smith, which contributed to the rise of the Satanic Panic. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest and say one thing that would always be when you think about it, things that would be when you think about this time period, when it comes to hey, what would be some things that people would immediately think of when it comes to this time period? I can think of one top of my head, and it's one thing that I used to play in college. I mean, here's the thing: if I had a bunch of friends, and if I had a thing I could play with, it would be D&D.
I do not think that many parents are aware of what's inside the game. In fact, in my presentation, I show many pictures from the inside of the books, just to show the images of this game. I mean, the gruesomeness of this game and the occult link to it.
Well, I know that when I did my message, and this has happened, I have letter after letter where people took the pieces. Now, there's sixes involved in the pieces of the game, but they'd take the pieces of the game, they would throw them in the incinerator or the fireplace, and screams would come out because there seemed to be some kind of spiritual forces inhabiting those pieces, and children would drop out of life. They didn't want to study anymore. What are the pieces?
Or Dungeons and Dragons.
Able to summon the Krampus.
Oh no, that happens to me once a month.
I was gonna say something about Krampus in my pants. Bitsy beat me to it. Hers was funnier.
Mostly because, at the time it was just when you think about it, D&D is a game that you can play with a bunch of people, go on objective missions and all that. But at the same time, you can fight demons, you can fight talking skeleton monsters. How you doing, Sam the Skeleton? You doing okay, bud? He ain't saying much now, is he? He's at a loss for words. But at the same time, you can also think have a bit of a connection to say heavy metal music.
In this article, Ms. Gore claimed that one of my songs, Under the Blade, had lyrics encouraging sadomasochism, bondage, and rape. The lyrics she quoted have absolutely nothing to do with these topics. On the contrary, the words in question are about surgery and the fear that it instills in people. Furthermore, the reader of this article is led to believe that the 3 lines she quotes go together in the song, when, as you can see from reading the lyrics, the first 2 lines she cites are an edited phrase from the 2nd verse, and the 3rd line is a misquote of a line from the chorus.
Like, this would be like a claim that, like, like, say, oh my gosh, like, listening to that kind of music will lead you straight to hell or something like that. And I'm just like thinking, like, say, well, this was the exact same kind of, like, say, thoughts that when people would thought when it came to, like, say, the the Columbine shooting. Like, say you think, like, say, hey, like, violence in video games, or suddenly violence in music. Like, say, you'd also, like, look back and, like, nowadays you would think of it and, like, say, like, we think of, like, films, and nowadays, like, previously, a few years ago, you had the film Maxine, which did have a bit of, like, say, ideas that include satanic ideas into it.
I don't like walking out here with that freaking Night Stalker guy on the loose.
The Night Stalker.
Night Stalker.
Night Stalker.
He's terrorizing Los Angeles.
I can handle myself.
So said every bad girl in Hollywood.
Maxine, I'm the private detective. I had to find you.
I'm gonna also say, like, yes, like, say, when you really look back at this time period in the 80s, we really think of, like, say, a lot more of the possession things. You really think of, like, say, especially when you think of the horror films, you really think of, like, say, this would be a time period when, like, you'd think of, like, say, the exorcism. You'd think of, like, things like when it comes to the occult and all that. Heck, I bet, like, say, a lot of folks, like, during this time period, I bet a lot of parents were a bit, like, more afraid, like, say, hey, remember the Ouija board? Like, the little board where, like, you have several of your friends, and you're just going to say, now who in the group likes me? TOMOY. Tell me. But we really do think of, like, especially that time period. Like, yes, the book Michelle Speaks, it was really a bit of a big catalyst that would, like, like, yes, we may think, like, I'm gonna be honest and say, like, yes, it continued until the 90s. You could also have a bit of, like, say, idea of, like, hey, Doom could be a bit of a connection as well to it. I mean, I know probably your feelings say, that's a bit of I know you're probably thinking, like, say, that's a bit of a stretch. But at the same time, we have to also think about it this way. When it comes to, like, say, being a parent, like, especially that time period, like, yes, it was the 80s. Like, like, compared to now, like, say, there was no cell phones. There was, like, say, kids would just be, like, say, hey, like, you're gonna get on your bike, you're gonna go run around, or you're gonna, like, ride your bike to your friend's house, and then perhaps you'll be home by 11. And that was considered normal back then. Nowadays, it's like, say, okay, like, where are you going, and all that. Because, like, there is a bit of a change. Like, like, once folks kind of saw, like, hey, once there was, like, the news sold you, like, say, they showed you, like, an article or thing, they can go, like, say, oh, well, I need to be more careful about, like, say, where my kid is and all that. So, yeah, like, the 80s it was a dangerous era, and at the same time, it was also a bit of an era when we think about it, like, yes, like, it was a bit of an era that was also a bit of, like, a restraint, in a way. But, were you around when the Satanic Panic was going on? So, I'm gonna see you next time. See ya!